When you think about how important the Declaration of Independence is to the founding creation of what this country is today, and you think about the United States Constitution, both, by the way, unique documents in world history, and the fact that we're now a democracy for over 241 years, longer than any democracy in the world today, you have to think to yourself, who made it happen? It was the citizen soldier. It was the shopkeeper, the farmer, the barrel maker, the doctor, the lawyer, who quit their full-time profession, went to war to defend their version of liberty. And they risked their lives and many times lost their lives. There are many examples of citizen soldiers in the United States history. Undoubtedly, the most prominent and most famous of all, of course, is George Washington. Here was a Virginia planter who really didn't want to get involved in a war. And yet he agreed to lead that army at great personal risk, not only for his own neck, but for his livelihood. Everything was on the line with George Washington. And yet when it was over, when he had led the citizen soldiers that followed him to victory over the mightiest country on earth, he voluntarily gave up his commission in Annapolis, Maryland, and went back to that plantation to return to the work and the life that he had before the war started. He's a perfect example of a citizen soldier who fought for his version of freedom, fought for what he believed in, put it all on the line, risked everything, and when he was victorious, went home and went back to his original job. Henry Knox is a good example, who became a general of artillery in the Revolutionary War. He was a bookseller, and he quit that job. And he went in and of course, he did some incredible things to help the colonists defeat Great Britain, the Patriots defeat Great Britain. Another example I'd like to give is the War of 1812. There was a guy named Matthias Lighthizer. He lived in what is West Virginia now, then it was Western Virginia. And he volunteered to serve in the War of 1812. And in 1814, he was at Baltimore, Maryland, during the great battle for that city that the British failed to accomplish. He was a patriot, and later he went back to Western Virginia and took up his life as a farmer. In the Civil War, of course, one of the more famous citizen soldiers is Joshua Lawrence Chamberlain, who was a college professor at Bowdoin, and according to what I've read, asked for a leave of absence to fight in the war for his country, and it was denied by the administration. So he made up an excuse of going to Europe or some other place, some academic pursuit. When it was granted, he promptly went off to war. Of course, he rose through the ranks to become a Major General Brevet in the Union Army, and of course famously fought at Gettysburg, amongst many other places. He was wounded out in front of Petersburg. And then, of course, he went on to become a governor of Maine, and of course taught every subject, I think, except mathematics later in life at Bowdoin College, including becoming their president. He was a remarkable example of a citizen soldier who fought for what he believed in, and in turn helped create the country we have today. In the end, what made the Declaration of Independence real? What made the United States Constitution real was the victories that citizen soldiers won on the battlefield at great risk and at a great price, and then went back to their profession before the war. That's incredibly significant, because we the people, the ordinary citizens, are the people that created this country.